Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I have 1,000 follow-up questions about this movie. Let's talk first about the fact that your son wrote it at 19 years old. I'm just fascinated by that fact because the story has such depth through it, such emotion, and kind of lived experience. For you, was it shocking the first time you read it to know that he could capture such emotion?
In many ways, it wasn't shocking because Joe has always been an unbelievably observant, quite still young man, and he's also always written. So our refrigerator is covered in poetry from when he was 7 years old. It's writing has been a big part of his life, and it's something he's always been very passionate about. But of course, that doesn't necessarily translate into being able to write a screenplay. So I was very impressed with how it came fairly naturally. But what I didn't necessarily anticipate was just how solid each one of the characters would be. So each character was so fully formed. They each have their own moment. They have their own storyline almost. And yet it's a film about one big family. But you invest in them all, and you care about them all, and you want to know what's going to happen. You want to know that they're going to be okay. And so that side of it, and how real it was, how real the dialogue was, that was something I was very overwhelmed by.
And you convinced somehow Dame Helen Mirren to play the matriarch. She said that she did not want to play a dying character, but she changed her mind. How, as a director, because you're making your directorial debut in this movie, how did you capture her?
So it's really interesting, with Helen, like she very freely, I didn't actually have to convince her. I spoke to her about the film. I told her the story. I said I was going to direct it. It was written by my son. At the point that I approached her, we did have all our other cast, because in going to Helen, I wanted her to know that she would be so looked after and surrounded by these great people, and this huge sort of web of support was going to be there. And when she said, look, let me read it, even though I don't want to play this character, actually, I just thought, okay, I'll send it. And then she said yes. And she said yes because she said, no, I want to support you. And I think it's a beautiful story. And so knowing that she was really doing this because she wanted to lend herself to supporting this process was really very special. And I think I just felt, I just don't want to let her down. I just want to give her an experience that's memorable, that's significant, that's meaningful to her, and to give her a space to work in that perhaps was a little bit different to what she's used to. Film sets can be really frantic places, lots of people, lots of voices. It can be quite overwhelming. And it's very, very hard at times for an actor to just actually concentrate. And so we had a really uncluttered set. I worked really closely with our sound designer and our camera team to try and find ways to do things much more subtly. So we didn't have any overhead boom microphones. I had hidden microphones everywhere, so that there was never that distraction or additional crew people standing in a space that was really quite small and needed to feel as though it was June's room. And again, we were able to lock off cameras. We'd set them in position, we'd quietly roll, and then everybody would walk out of the room. And sometimes I'd say to the actors, okay, we're rolling now, so in your own time. And they'd be like, where are you going? And I'd go, I'm going out there with everybody else, and take it away. And we would just shut the door, and they would just be in this space. And Helen, she did say at one point, she said, I don't think I've ever actually had that before. And I felt really pleased for her that she was able to experience that, because it did do something to her. It made her feel different. It gave her permission to be really small and intimate and quiet in those slightly delicate scenes. But it was just amazing. I mean, all these incredible actors, they're like amongst my favorite actors in the whole wide world. And just to be with all of them and to take care of them was such a privilege.
Speaks to your experience. And mind you, they said glowing things about you, the highest compliments that anyone could receive.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, thank you so much for your time and sharing that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.